Good evening, everybody, or at least it's evening here. Sorry about the background noise. Got the heat on because it's cold out. So tonight we're going to decide or talk about whether the Kayo Predator 125s are worth the money or just Chinese junk. And we've had these probably, gosh, I don't know, they're probably getting close to 2 years now, year and a half, somewhere in there. If I'm wrong, I'm sure my editor will correct me. But anyhow, I can say that they are absolutely maybe worth it to you. It just depends. I think if you are a type of person that you just want to turn the key on, you want it to start, and you want it to run, and you don't want to do anything else with it, then these are probably not the machines for you. Not that I haven't had any real problems with them, but there's just little things that just have to keep fiddling with. And I mean, it's not constant. It's not enough to the biggest. We'll jump right into the cons, or at least what I think's the con. I think everybody will think is the con as far as goes. But you know, these come with they're shipped over, and basically they're just assembled at your local dealer or whoever's putting them together, selling them for you. Ours was our local ATV dealer, Yamaha, Honda, Suzuki. They sell everything there. So they had these, we looked at them, and the selling point was the fact that we picked up both of these for less than like a Yamaha 70. And if you're gonna have a couple kids riding them, then at the same time, then you know that saves quite a chunk of money. Unless you're going to listen to them argue about whose turn it is and who's rode it the most and this, that, and the other. So we'll jump right back into the cons. When they come over here, like I said, they're all pretty much ready. They just have to be assembled, some plastic stuff and put on, but the carburetors are sealed. And basically they don't want you to adjust them. And it's all EPA regulations type of stuff. They don't want you messing with them. And that's all well and good, but if you know how a carburetor works, they need adjusted for air conditions and your altitude and different things like that for them to run the best. And these are two exact machines, bought at the exact same time, assembled by the exact same dealer and everything. But this machine, which is more black, which it's hard to tell through all the mud, the kids have been having a ball on them, but this one here is pretty much mostly black. That one there's a little more white on the front fenders. But this machine has always been hard to start, doesn't like to stay running, especially when it's warmer out, and when it was cold it would run better. That machine's always run pretty well. Didn't really matter the temperature too much. They're both a little finicky getting started, a little cold-blooded, but you know, nothing out of the normal for carbureted motors. But that one there will idle and stuff when it's all warmed up just fine, and this one here always wanted to die. So there's a couple ways you can fix that. You can buy another aftermarket carburetor that is adjustable for these and put it on, or the screws to adjust the idle and air mixture just have caps over them, and you can, I think I used like a sheet metal screw or something, and I kind of screwed it in just a little bit, pulled the plug out, and I think the other side I just used the pick, because there's one on the left side of the bike, one on the right side. And I think I just used a pick to get them out of there, so then you could adjust them. And with that being said though, I have adjusted this one. It will idle, but it won't run wide open. It just seems like it's starving for fuel, and I have cleaned it out, and I've messed with it, and I think it's too small of a carburetor. Or there's just some defect in the carburetor or the fuel system that just won't let it run wide open, which is not entirely a bad thing with my son. But so I've adjusted that, and the other flaw, which was for me personally, especially for my wife and, you know, mom not wanting the kids to get hurt, they are really fast from factory. I never actually clocked them, but we rode them around, which they run about, I don't know, I want to say the dealer told us around 30, and I would believe that. I never clocked them or anything to see, but they were fast. They take a while to get up to speed with them being 125s, but they would go. And I guess maybe if you have a big wide open area for them to ride, and your kids are a little bit bigger and stuff, that might be perfect for them. I have mostly woods and wood trails, so you definitely don't need to be going 35 mile an hour, especially my little kids. And to get up some of the hills, you know, they struggled even with them on them. So if I wanted to jump on it, which I'm about 6 foot and 180 pounds or so, they struggled to move me around and stuff, which obviously they're for kids. But you know, can't help but getting out and having some fun with your kids on them every now and then, and they are fun to go zipping back through the woods. The suspension is fairly decent for what they are. You know, it's pretty typical four-wheeler stuff, but they work pretty good. The brakes work pretty good, especially for, you know, when I get on it. So they're much better for just the kids, because they can handle that weight so much better. But I didn't like them like that, so what I did is I ordered a sprocket, and I changed out the rear sprocket, which, if you don't know, the bigger the rear sprocket you put on it, the slower it'll go, and the more power it'll have to get started moving and to climb hills. So I believe it's stock a 39 tooth sprocket, and I put a 50 tooth sprocket on. And you can get a smaller front sprocket, which will help make it even slower. But I just wanted to start with the back, because the front sprocket is pretty small already, and so it's only a 1 tooth difference on the front sprocket, and I just didn't figure I didn't really think it was probably going to be worth it. And I'm glad I didn't buy them, because those sprockets there are perfect for my kids and where we ride. And we rode it around, and I chased them with the RMAX there, and according to the GPS speed in the dash, they were running around 20 mile an hour. And like I said, if you fiddle with the choke on this one here a little bit, you can get it to run wide open, so it might run 22, maybe 23, somewhere in through there, just wide open. But the kids love them the way they are now, because they can climb the hills in our trails, and they move me around a lot easier when the kids want me to go riding with them when it's only one of them. So, but they're pretty fun now the way they are. So I mean, that's pretty much the only cons that I've found of these, is just, you know, which if you're a carburetor guy, you know, and you don't mind adjusting a carburetor, and otherwise, even if you don't really know how to adjust a carburetor, but if you understand, you know, the quirks of a carburetor and having to choke it when it's cold, and, you know, partial choke sometimes, and, you know, that kind of stuff, and the fact that if they get too hot, then they can, you know, kind of vapor lock and not want to start, different things like that. I mean, they're pretty good machines. I haven't had to actually work on either one of them, other than, you know, fiddling with the carburetor on this one a little bit. That one there's been great. They start up fairly easily. They have a choke, electric start. You have handbrakes, which, I don't know, can be a pro if you have a kid that's already riding a bicycle with, you know, handbrakes. They're already on it. They already know, you know, front brakes, rear brakes, and they work good. The kids can pull them and stuff. I would like to have, because my kids are a little bit on the small side, it would be nice to just have a foot brake, so that way they could be, you know, full grip on the handlebars when it gets bouncy and stuff, and they could still step on a foot brake if they needed to slow down while trying to hold on. But it is what it is. But like I said, we haven't had any problems with them, as long as, you know, they remember to use the brakes. The brakes work really good for what they are. But they got decent sized tires, and we'll add in some pictures of them zipping them around. And if you've seen any of our other videos, you've seen them running around and crossing the creek and, you know, throwing the mud, which you can see they're muddy. They'll throw the mud, they'll go. So they're pretty good. They come with a remote kill switch for the parents, so that way, you know, if you get a little whiskey throttle situation going on, or they just get too crazy, and you know, you can hit the button and remote kill them. So you can go out. It has the pull cord kill switch. It has another kill switch here. Then you got your key. And if any of these kill switches get tripped, or this gets pulled, or even if the remote gets triggered, you have to reset them all with this button or they won't start. You know, that's all. That stuff all worked good. It was a plus in my book. It comes with lights. They has just a tail light switch. I don't know if you can see through all the mud. It has just a this here's your light switch. Just that's the parking lights or whatever. So you have a tail light that's on, and then you can flip on the headlights, and then it has a button here for your high. It actually has high and low lights. There's low, high. They're definitely not bright. They're cheap lights, but the kids like them for the fun, cool factor for them. And, you know, honestly, for them riding around through our woods and stuff, when it starts getting towards dusk, it's easy to see where they're at, as long as you got some light going back there. And they even, you know, they have brake lights. So, all that stuff there. And the key switch is in a good spot for them. And like I said, I'm almost 6 foot tall, 180 pounds, and you know, I can sit on the thing and I can ride it fairly comfortably for quite a while. So they're a fun little machine. So I think for the money, like I said, we bought these two, which we got a discount for buying two at once, but they were still cheaper than one Yamaha or Honda of a similar model of, you know, size comparison. So I hope that helps. If you are looking at these to buy, I think, to recap, basically, if you are not mechanically inclined at all and you don't want to mess with it, you know, you might be better off and if you only have one you're buying, you know, you might be better off to go with a big name brand. But with that said, I think we can probably all agree that since COVID and 2020 and stuff, quality controls kind of went downhill on a lot of things, even the name brands. But if you're a tinkerer, you know, you can fiddle. You understand the principles of a carburetor and getting them started and keeping them running and things like that, and keeping everything tightened up. I think they're well worth the money, because I haven't really had any problems out of them, other than, you know, like I said, this one and needing to tinker with the carburetor there just a little bit. But other than that, I've had no breakdowns, no frame, no suspension breaks or tweaks or anything like that. And they worked. They're a little bit backwards, and I'll show you on this one over here, it's cleaner. This is my daughter's, and she just hasn't got it nearly as muddy as my boy. But has a thumb choke. You have to pull one of the brakes, doesn't matter which one, either this one or this one, and then you can hit the thumb starter button and it'll start up, and it'll start in gear because it's in gear now. So there's neutral. But now these shifters are backwards to me, and they're backwards to the kids, having never rode, but I am used to one down, you know, the rest up. And so if you click it down, then it goes into reverse. And so to go forward, you have to click that one, you go back into neutral, and then click it backwards again, and now you're in forward. And like I said, it was backwards to me, and the kids, having never rode anything, it was backwards to them because they expected to push the front pedal, you would go forward, the back pedal, you would go backwards. And I think that's how it's going to be if you put a heel toe shifter on there, because they can't really get their foot under there and pull that up very well, so they're all the time clicking them down. So even as long as they've been riding them and I've been riding with them, I still get it confused on which direction is which for what. So yeah, go forward and it'll put you in reverse, backwards and you go back to neutral, backwards and you're in drive. So, which they are centrifugal clutch. It just has there's no gear shifting, it's just forward, backwards. Yeah. But that's it. All in all, I'm happy with them. The kids like them. Like I said, we ride them, they're fun, and they've held up fairly well so far. They're, like I said, they're probably a year and a half old, somewhere in through there. And I've probably rode them as much as the kids have, if not more, zipping back through the woods and stuff, and you know, running out to get the mail or whatever. So they're pretty fun, and I think if you have a few mechanical skills, you know, stuff, I don't think you can go wrong with them. All right, it's just my thoughts, and I hope this helps if you're in the market and considering one. As always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.
I think you better stop before you run yourself over, bud.